And man, I can promise you that if you just do a single thing each day, drop the expectation that you have to grind and do everything, but stack the wins. Get that one win of that one thing. And if that's all you can do, awesome. Well done. But if you do more, they're bonuses. If you ever remember a time where you are on the phone with your parents and you're just having a bad day, you're like, man, it's just really rough today. The kids are running around and I can't do anything. Or man, my spouse said this thing and I'm just angry with her. Or goodness gracious, my coworkers, like I am just so upset. Or the more common one of, Mom, I don't know why you had the third kid because I thought you were good with after two, after me and my brother, because this other one, man, it's just getting me up the wall. And what do our parents do right after? Oh, honey, well, it's okay. Here's a solution. Here is your solution to the problem. Here is a thought that I have that can help you out. They give us suggestions. And I think about that when applying to Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich with his third principle of auto suggestion. When it breaks down, what is it? Well, you have suggestion, which is a directed thought, and then auto, which is from automatic, which is it just does it by itself. So when I look at auto suggestion, I'm thinking, okay, it's a thought that's directed in a certain direction that just happens by itself. Now, cool. How does that happen? Well, that's through our senses. That's through our experience and the reps that we put in. Literally, if you think of our mind as, I know that some of the younger people won't understand this, but if y'all remember a tape recorder, our mind is like a tape recorder. We have record going 24/7 all the time. And everything that we hear, everything that we see, and all of our other senses that are going on, and how we also internalize it based off of previous experiences has created the version of us who we are today. So if we are trying to be a better version of ourselves and truly be a champion in our life, when it comes to suggestions that happen, shouldn't the ones that stick with us be the ones to help us be better? It just seems that should be the way it should be, right? But how many suggestions do we feel and hear all the time from people who we love, from people who we care about, but also from complete strangers and the negative hatred in the comments? We hear thoughts and opinions and advice from everyone around us. So, how in the world do we stick to it? How in the world do we create the life that we want? It is through the repetitions that get you the life that you desire. The first principle in Think and Grow Rich is desire. Simply, what do you want? What is it that you want? Like you actually want. It's not what anybody else wants or what the gurus and the people who are considered successful out there are saying this is the way to do it. Go into real estate or go into stock investing or go into buying gold and silver. Like that might work for them and might work for you. But like, what is it that you want? Is it to be a chef right next to Gordon Ramsay? Is it to play Pokemon and be a Pokemon master? Or is it to be an astronaut, just like we saw just recently with the rocket launch? What is it that you actually want? Then you go to the second principle, which is faith. With faith, in my head, I'm thinking faith without works is dead because I grew up religious and that's like what comes up. So it's faith, which is your belief in, I think this can happen. So the possibility mixed with the action of, I'm going to do something with the assumption that it is already true. Combine those two together, that's faith. So now when we come to the third principle of autosuggestion, what the heck does that mean? Well, it simply means in my head that you are continuously having thoughts and continuously doing things that are in the direction in which you are wanting to achieve the thing that you wanted and desired in the first place. How do you get that? It's through the repetitions. It's through putting it out. I had this awesome notification come to me on LinkedIn 2 months back. Open up my LinkedIn, had that little bell there and a little bubble that said two next to it. I'm like, okay, so I click on it and I got a notification from Podmatch. that said that I was tagged in a photo and that they also commented me in a photo. I said, okay. So I clicked on it. And Podmatch, for those who don't know what it is, it's basically like a dating site for podcasters where they just match the host and the guest together. They don't date each other, but it's to connect them to have good episodes. So that's like, it's a social media platform for that. Every month, they come out with the top 10 popular podcasts and the top 10 popular guests on their platform. I clicked that notification. Lo and behold, this popped up. And out of the top 10 podcast guests, I was number 7. I can't tell you how much I was freaking out. Because out of this, we're talking, this is a global reach. Podmatch is global. They have over, I think the last time I looked, it was like over 45,000 active guests that are on the platform. And I was in the top 10. And I thought, how in the world did I get here? What in the world got me to this point to where I'm in the top 10? I wasn't planning on it happening, but it happened. And you better believe that I saved that sucker to my laptop, that I posted it onto Facebook and Instagram and my stories, because I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. But how did I get there? And I thought about all the time that I put into being on podcasts with other people, the time that I put of sharing it, the reviews and that I've got of how I've been able to just share my story and help other people and find these frameworks and systems that work really well for a lot of people that I talk to. But the most important one was the time that I put into my skill of communication. I grew up dyslexic, and the two things that really hurt me the most was reading and speaking. And especially if you had me read out loud, man, you combine those two, I would read a sentence in about an hour. Yes, that's an exaggeration, but it was so slow. I had to sound out every single word. But I thought of that time of how many episodes I created with my podcast and how many episodes I went on other people's. And then when this picture showed up of me in the top 10, I thought, I have earned this. And it was because of the reps that I put in that got me here. So I want you to ask yourself, in the things that you have already accomplished, what did you do to get there? Because if you were like me, you put in reps, you put in time, and sometimes you put in money. You put in the money to get there. And it was because of that, and because you did something every day, every week, that got you to the result that you wanted. Something that not many other people get. But because you put that time and effort into it, you got it. So now tying that in with autosuggestion, which is a thought in a certain direction that is automatic within us. If we are wanting to create the best version of ourselves, and the best way for us to influence who we are is based off of everything that we have learned in the past and what we've been able to do and accomplish and how we interpret that, then that must mean that in order for me to be a different person in the future, then the thoughts that I have need to be automatic and need to be in the way that the future me would want me to think and want me to do. So that means I'm not going to be sitting on the couch and scrolling through my phone for hours a day. That means I'm going to be spending a little bit more time exercising. That means I'm going to spend a little bit more time carrying a water bottle around with me so that I get a gallon of water. That's me whenever I have a negative thought, jumping into what I call a grateful 3, which is whenever I have a negative thought, I think of 3 things I'm going to be grateful for. So if I say, man, today's just a really crappy day. Well, Willie, hold off. What 3 things you're grateful for? Well, I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my kids. And I'm grateful for the house I live in. But what I'm not grateful for is what this person, hold it. What are 3 more things you're grateful for? I'm grateful for the air around me. I'm grateful for my awesome fingers. And I'm grateful to be able to speak with you today. And as I overload my gratitude with what I've done in the past, all of a sudden, over time, it's going to be easier for me to be grateful, easier for me to have these thoughts that are going to lead me in the direction of the goal that I'm wanting. So, this is my challenge for you who is listening, is that whatever it is that you want, that desire that you have, and you know it, and you also see that it can be a possibility, I want you to pick one thing that you can do each day for just this week. Next 7 days, one thing you can do each day. Because in my life and the people that I've worked with and people I've seen who have become champions in their own life, it is from doing something consistent every single day to get there. Yes, there are those big opportunities. Yes, those big moments come and they're awesome, just like that top 10 with me with Pod Match. But it was from what I did in private. And the practice, what I did in private, is what's going to show up in public. And if you want to be a champion in the public, we got to start with you being a champion in private. So do one thing every single day, consistently, just for the next 7 days, to go after the desire that you want. And man, I can promise you that if you just do a single thing each day, drop the expectation that you have to grind and do everything, but stack the wins. Get that one win of that one thing. And if that's all you can do, awesome. Well done. But if you do more, they're bonuses. You're stacking wins. All of a sudden, that one win that you have once a week now turns into 20 wins that you have every single day. Now, I don't know about you, but I love having wins, and having 20 each day builds my confidence. So if you are wanting to build your confidence and have an irrefutable evidence that you are who you say that you are, do a single thing each day, go after your desire. And that is how you can become a champion in your own life.